One of the statements that really seems to be helping people is when it's arc trig, that's when it's asking what is the angle or where does it happen. If the arc isn't there, find the way to find out. Cosine is, say, at 45 degrees, go find out what it is. So this letter A, there's something a little different with letter A. What seems to be different on this one? Yeah, there's a 2. Well, let's just figure out this first right here. This is saying, is that asking where? Yes, it is. So it's saying, where is tangent square root of 3 over 3? Well, let's go find out. So here's tangent. Whoop, there's square root of 3 over 3 already. So where does it happen? 30 degrees. All right. So do you agree that right there is 30 degrees? What I have kind of boxed in red. Now that 2 is inside the parentheses. So I got to take 30 times 2, right? You see that times 2 is still there? So that turns it into a... So pretty much I've taken care of everything I just circled in red. And so now I have a sign. Is sine asking where in this question? No, it's not. It's saying sine of 60 or sine at 60 degrees is what? Okay, and so you go, and if you're not sure, yeah, you go like this. And we say 60 degrees, we know it's right there. Sine's the y value, so square root of 3 over 2. Letter B, which of the two is asking where? The cosine's asking where. So let's go find out where is cosine square root of 2 over 2. Now this is, I believe, the first official cosine we've had. Remember, cosine says to go 0 to 180 for your answers. Because that better only happen once in that whole span of time. It better only happen once. Does it only happen once from 0 to 180? Yeah, and where does it happen? 45 degrees. So all that in blue that I have circled there just means 45 degrees. So over here is asking for secant of 45 degrees. So now you have two methods. You got that table, or what if you did have to find it out by yourself? Well, you would go to 45 degrees, and instead of looking for secant, you would look for its, I call it the close cousin, cosine. Well, what is cosine at 45? Well, square root of 2 over 2, right? That's cosine there. What am I supposed to do to that value to turn it into secant? Yeah, just flip it over, right? So it's 2 over the square root of 2 if I flip it over. So this one here is cosine. This one now is turning into secant over here. But unfortunately, you can't leave the answer that way. You got to multiply. What's that called? The conjugate. What do we call it? Funny fun number 1. And so we got, what, 2 square root of 2 on top, and the square root of 4 on the bottom, which is 2. And so you get square root of 2. Does your chart agree with that answer? When you went to secant and 45, kind of put it together. Let's find out. Here's secant, 45. Oh, look at that, square root of 2. But you never know if you're going to be able to use that table on, say, a quiz or a test, so you might want to be able to do it on your own if you have to. So any questions on A or B of example 2? Actually, 2 ways you can go about this next one. The one that's asking where is secant. Do you now have a little table that'll show you where secant is 2? You do. And so you could use that if you needed to. Or I liked what somebody did last hour. They kind of translated that for me. It's the same thing as asking what. That's asking where is secant. 2 is where is cosine. 1/2 is the exact same question, right? Because they're reciprocals. And so where is cosine 1/2? Well, cosine, you're supposed to go that distance, so forget about those. And so is cosine going to be positive 1/2 in the second quadrant? No. So we know it's either 30 or 60. Which one? 60. So all of this is saying 60 degrees. Did your table tell you the same thing? I hope so. So it's asking for sine at 60 degrees. Sine's the y value. So if the x value was 1/2, the y value better be square root of 3 over 2. Any questions? Well, what's different about letter D?
You have radian.
Yeah, I got a pi over 6 just hanging around in there. All right, that's a great suggestion. Let's find where is cosine square root of 3 over 2 first. Then we'll add the pi over 6 to it. Then we'll find out what tangent is there. So where is cosine? So we're doing this portion first. Where is cosine square root of 3 over 2? Well, we just had sine being square root of 3 over 2 at 60. So yeah, it's 30 degrees. So it's tangent. Okay, so you're telling me this one is 30 degrees, and I'm supposed to add pi over 6. How do you do pi over 6 and add it to 30 degrees? Yeah, you got to change one of them. And let's face it, most of us are going to change the pi over 6 to degrees, right? And what is pi over 6 if you just convert it strictly to degrees is 30 degrees, right? Because we know the unit circle so well, especially our radians. So it's asking for tangent at 60. Once again, I think I'm going to take the time to show you what if you don't get that table. What if you can't use this? Can you reproduce this is really the question. And I hope that you can. But what you would do is you would go to 60 degrees, which is right there. The ordered pair there is 1/2 square root of 3 over 2. Do I have that correct, or do I have it reversed? And that's right, because cosine remembers the x value and sine's the y. And tangent is sine over cosine. So you take the sine value, which is square root of 3 over 2, and put it over 1/2. I'm trying to divide by 1/2, which means I'm really trying to multiply by 2. Very good. So this is multiplication, so you do just multiply straight across. All right, not cross multiply here, but the 2's end up canceling anyways. So this is square root of 3, and I hope your table told you the same thing. Any questions? The biggest hurdle to get over is know when is it asking for the spot and when is it not. And the only times it really should get you in trouble is if it does end up something like this, cosine of 0. Is it arc cosine of 0, cosine of 0? You know, is it asking where? Is it asking me to go find it at that place? What's the real question? Okay. Anything?